All right, let's talk about the differences between optimizing a blog page and a traditional web page. So, you're going to include all of the elements that you included in your regular web page. So, your title tag, your meta description, your heading, or in the case of a blog post, the title or headline of the post, the image alts, the body, all of those things are going to be included in optimization of a blog page. But you're also going to want to include social sharing and something that I call freshness. So let's unpack these two differences in optimizing a blog page. So you've got your traditional idea of you've got your URL, so you can see I've got blog post ideas is in this URL. I've got my headline, blog post ideas. You can see the title tag, or at least a piece of it, up here in my screenshot. Ultimate list of blog post ideas. So my keyword is appearing in all of the normal places. It's in the body. A couple of times it's going to be the alt on this image. But you're also going to want to include social sharing capabilities on your blog content, because it is a signal for Google to determine what pages to rank. So as when we get into module 5 of this certification, you're going to learn more about earning links and so on. And this is a part of that. The amount of social sharing that your content is getting is impacting the rankings of that content, and it's not a significant factor as far as we can tell, but it is a factor that you need to be taken into account, and it just makes sense on your blog content to include social sharing buttons and to pay attention to the amount of social sharing that you're getting. Now, if you want to get traction on social media and you want to get it now, you want to get it immediately instead of sort of just kind of publishing content and praying that it gets picked up on social, you're going to want to start experimenting with social ads, like ads in Facebook, ads on Twitter, ads on LinkedIn, that will push your content out and force it to be seen. And assuming your content is good, that should prime the pump and get your social media sharing going by buying some traffic to your blog posts and other content. So I'm a big fan of using social ads to promote your content rather than just publishing and hoping that it gets picked up by and naturally gains traffic. If you're not seeing good traction in social and you're creating great content, go ahead and start experimenting with buying traffic and getting that sort of ball rolling. Now, let's talk about something that is not talked about very often, which is freshness, and why freshness is so important when it comes to your blog content. So, the internet is aging, right? So every day the internet gets a day older. There are about 2.7 million blog posts that get published every single day. And if we remember, Google's motivation is to generate revenue, and they do that by serving relevant results to the searcher so that they can get more ad clicks, so that they can make more revenue. They want to serve popular results to the searcher so that they can um, get more ad clicks and get more revenue. And they want to keep searchers on web properties they own so that, again, they can get more ad clicks and they can get more revenue. And in order to do that, they've had to start considering freshness as part of the algorithm, because there's so many blog posts that get published each day, so much new content added to the web. And as that content continues to age, that content sometimes becomes less relevant, becomes less popular. So what we're finding is that Google is starting to favor content that is has more freshness to it. So Google uses this thing called the Query Deserves Freshness algorithm, or the QDF algorithm, for queries like, and this has been going on for several years now. Upcoming events in Austin, Texas. You can see why Google would use a freshness algorithm for that. So what is the freshest page? What is the newest page optimized for this term, upcoming events in Austin, Texas? Tiger Woods Masters. So like if somebody's typing that into Google when the Masters golf tournament is going on, Google's going to turn on the query deserves freshness algorithm. They're going to show Tiger Woods' score. They're going to show video of Tiger Woods at the Masters right now. So the most fresh content wins in this query deserves freshness query. Steve Jobs. When Steve Jobs passed away several years ago, typing in Steve Jobs into Google was not the same as typing Steve Jobs into Google the day before he died, right? So people wanted to know what happened. They wanted to know the news. They wanted the most fresh content about Steve Jobs. And so what happens is Google turns on this query deserves freshness algorithm, and they start serving the most fresh content about a particular subject. NFL scores. So during the NFL season, and it's particularly on an NFL Sunday, if you type NFL scores into Google, it's going to turn the query deserves freshness algorithm on and show you current scores. It might even be, today you're seeing things like live scoring updates and game clocks and things in the Google search results. And that's the, Google becoming more aware that you're looking for the freshest content on that subject. So as a result, Google's starting to favor freshness in some cases. And what we're finding is that they're starting to favor freshness in more and more and more cases as the internet continues to age, as blog posts begin to become very outdated. And this is what we're doing about that. So we've got take a look at this blog post here. We've got digitalmarketer.com/blog post ideas. We've been using this post as an example throughout this course. And you can see that this is a second edition. And what we've been doing with blog posts is we've been going in and taking blog posts that had success in the past and then updating those posts, changing, fixing what's broken in there. If there's anything inaccurate in there, we will fix it. And we'll talk a little bit more about how we update these posts. But before we do that, let me show you the results. So we go in, we update this post, we republish it as a second edition. And what we're seeing is that pretty much immediately we're getting a bump from Google. So what you're looking at here is just the analytics for just that blog post, just from search engines, mainly Google, right? So you're seeing a massive bump from the time that we went from the first edition of this post, then we updated it, added some things to it, subtracted some things to it, basically just tended to the blog post. And then we update and republish, and you see us shoot up. And in fact, you see it double, it sort of does it twice here. And we actually went to the number one search result for that term, blog post ideas. So how do you go about updating a blog post? Because this is actually, I think for a blog, this is a really, really super critical thing to start doing. And that is go in, find a top performer. So you're going to go in, find blog posts that worked well already. You're going to do some on-page SEO if you weren't happy with your on-page SEO. From the first time you published it, you're going to perform on-page SEO as was described in the last video of this certification. Then you're going to update the post. You're going to re-energize the post. And we'll talk about each one of these steps. So first, find a top performer in Google Analytics. So you're going to go to Google Analytics. You're going to go to your acquisition reports, your channels report, and change the primary dimension to landing page. And you're just looking at organic search. So you're going to go to that channels report. You're going to look at the organic search, and then you're going to switch this primary dimension to landing page. And you're going to start seeing like what what is already close to being a really top performer for me, and that is a good candidate for an update and republish. Then you're going to go in and perform on-page SEO. You're going to do the title tag, the heading, the title, the URL, the meta description, and the body copy, and the image alt. Now, there is one thing. These are the exact 6 things that I told you to optimize on any web page. But the one thing you don't want to touch when you do an update and republish, unless you really know what you're doing, is the URL. So if my advice to you is to leave the URL alone. And that would be, this extension right here. We wouldn't want to change that unless we were going to go in and do a 301 redirect, which we'll talk about in module 4. But my advice to you is typically to just leave that URL alone. So when you go into step 2, you're just going to, you might update the title tag if you weren't happy with the way it was optimized the first time you published the post. You might change the headline. In our case, all we did was say second edition here. And then the meta description, the body copy, image alt, make sure all of that stuff is satisfactory for you. You've got the keyword in there. You think it reads well. So you don't want to mess with that URL, though, unless you really have to. And if you do, you want to make sure that you do a 301 redirect, which, again, we'll talk about next module. All right, now step 3 is to update the post. So what you're going to do is go into that post that you're going to update. You're going to correct any inaccuracies in there. You're going to add things like clarity and examples, right? So you might go in and add some more examples of, in this case, we had a bunch of blog post ideas, so we added a few more. We added, images and things like that. So we added screenshots, video, infographics. You could add a slide share deck and embed that. Adding things to the post is critical, right? Making it better than what it was before, and removing anything that's inaccurate. Adding to things that needed more clarification, or adding entirely new sections to the post. But essentially making the post bigger is a big part of this. And then step 4, you're going to re-energize that post. And what I mean by that is you're going to go back out to social media with it. So you're going to share it multiple times across your Facebook page, your Twitter handle, your LinkedIn page, all of those things. And again, don't be afraid to buy some traffic to this post and sort of get it juiced up and running again. And then you're going to want to go out to your email list again with this post and send it out to your email list and get that traffic coming in and get them sharing it and, just re-energizing this post. And so what you're hoping is going to happen, and what typically happens, is that you're going to see that Google is going to reward you for a couple of things. One is that you went in and you updated an older piece of content. And again, they're dealing with this aging internet, and they like the fact that you are freshening up your blog posts and tending to your content. And then the second thing they're rewarding you for is this new set of signals that's coming in at the same time that they see the update. So they see an update, they see a bunch of social shares coming in, they see some new traffic coming in, and they're going to go ahead and reward you by increasing your ranking. So that's the idea behind freshening up your posts. So in this other example, we've got we did this exact same process with a post that was 101 best email subject lines. We went in 24 hours before we updated it. With the new edition, it was ranked number 6. So it was a top performer. It was doing pretty well for us for this term email subject lines. And then after we republished it, it shot to number 3. And I believe we're ranking even better than that on this particular keyword today. So what we did the same thing with this post. We went in and we updated it. We added some new examples. We removed anything that was inaccurate. And so again, you can see where we updated and republished in our analytics. This is just organic search for for this particular post, and you see that it shoots up. So we've got it's super important for you to be thinking about your content as something that does need to be tended to, rather than just publishing blog posts and just kind of forgetting about them. It does make sense to go back, especially with anything that's close to ranking well for you. You can see that it's getting a little bit of search traffic. Go in, do an update, do a republish, re-energize that post, and you should see some results. Now, when you are thinking about your blog content, don't forget to optimize for ascension. Remember how important it is. You're not just trying to get rankings and traffic, but you're also trying to get conversions. So there are 4 types of blog content offers that you can make. So these are offers that you can make directly from your content. There is the offer to consume more content. Right, so they're reading a blog post, and you make an offer, and you say, "Hey, you liked this post? Maybe you'll like this other post." So you can do that with plugins that say, this is a related post, or you can just cross-link inside of your posts. But you want to have some sort of an ascension path for people, and so one way to do that is just to ask them to, hey, you're consuming this content. Maybe you would like to also consume this other one. A second thing that you can do is ask them to opt in for a gated offer. So ask them, would you, and this is a good example of this on the right here, where, we've got this blog post, how 6 Facebook ad experts would overhaul this Facebook ad campaign. And then throughout the post, you're reading along, and then you see this ultimate Facebook ad template library offer. And if you click on this, you're going to be asked to give us your email address. You have the deep discount offer, which is kind of like a flash sale, something very low dollar that can kind of get somebody's foot in the door as a customer. And then there's the high ticket offer. So let's look at some examples of these. The offer to consume more content. So this blog post, want to double sales, pull one of these 4 levers. So you're reading along here, and then it says, hey, want to learn 6 ways to double your business? You can do so in this free 6-week course. If they click on this, they're going to get taken to more content. And that's the ascension offer in here. So the goal here is to get them to touch your brand more often, right? So further branding your business is the goal here when your ascension offer is consume more content. Second type of offer is to opt in for a gated offer. So there was our example from earlier, how 6 Facebook ad experts would overhaul this Facebook ad campaign. You're reading along here, and you see this offer for the ultimate Facebook ad template library. They click on that. They're going to be taken over to this squeeze page, where they're going to be asked to put their email address in here. And this is how we generate leads from content. So good ascension offer from a blog post is a gated lead magnet offer like this one, where we say, hey, you're reading this. How'd you like this relevant lead magnet style offer, right? It's just some kind of resource that you can download, and we ask for your email in order to do that. So the goal of this kind of ascension offer is relevant leads. Another type of offer you can make, ascension offer that you can make from content, is a deep discount. So in our ultimate list of blog post ideas, you have this $27 execution plan, and that's a low dollar offer. That's something that we generally charge $47 for. We're actually making the offer for $27, so it's a deep discount, and it's a nice offer to make from a blog post. If they click on this call to action from our blog post, they're going to be taken over here to a sales page where they have the opportunity to buy something from us. So you don't want to, it's not a great idea to make really high ticket offers and expect sales from content, but you can make deep discount offers, like flash sale type offers from content, and expect to see sales. Now, if you want to make So the goal on these deep discount offers is initial customer acquisition. You're just trying to acquire customers. You're not even necessarily looking to acquire them at a profit. You're literally just trying to acquire buyers. Now, for the high ticket offer, if you do want to make a high ticket offer from content, you absolutely can do that. But you shouldn't expect to see sales from a blog post to, let's say, a $500 product or a $2,000 product. What you're really looking for as a goal here is just to make people aware of what you are selling. So, offer awareness is the goal at with this kind of an offer in a piece of content. So in this piece, we've got how to architect the perfect conversion funnel for your business, and they're reading along here, and they say, note all of the above funnels are covered in detail in our Funnel Blueprint 2.0 training. And if they click across to check that out, they're going to see that it's a very expensive training, and most people are not going to buy directly from this blog post, but they are going to become aware of this offer, which is step one to getting anybody to buy anything, is to get them aware. So you want to make sure you're planning for ascension in your intent-based keyword planner, no matter what the resource is that you're building, the asset you're building. Plan for ascension. Use that column in the intent-based keyword research planner, and you'll find that you'll not just be getting traffic and rankings on things, but you'll also be getting conversions. Now, in the next video, we're going to go in and talk about channel optimization of an Amazon product page. We'll see you there.